To see there was a number of our guys, man, you get that level of competition, and they take it up a notch, and they're guys that you rely on every day. You see it at a practice, and then they elevate again. It's awesome. But this is great work for us. You get some unbelievable evaluation of your players. So looking forward to another good day.
And I know your focus is today, obviously, but I think this is the last time we'll talk to you before Friday. Have you figured out at all kind of a play schedule for your starters, golf?
I've got an idea.
You'd like to share?
No, not right now. Not right now. I'm sure you guys can guess some of them.
These 2 days. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Is get really good work, 2 days, high intensity, a lot of density, in there as well. They hit us on some tempo offensively yesterday, which is great for our guys. That gets on you. Really good work.
Learn about some of the young guys maybe yesterday. Maybe you just alluded to that when you came out, right, and how they stepped up and specifically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good to see. And I think ultimately that's what you want. You want to see growth. And there again, you're not looking for these massive jumps. You just want to know with a different level of competition and everything goes up that, man, they continue to grow and take another little step up. And I felt that out of some of our young guys, which is encouraging.
Who in particular from that group jumped out at you?
Look, Laporta. I thought Laporta showed up. I thought Gibbs showed up. Branch did some things. Starling, I saw growth. Those are the guys that really stand out to me. Drummond, once again, out there making plays. So we got a lot of young guys that I feel like are growing.
Starling, I'm sure you like this about him, but he doesn't seem to take anything from anyone, right? Doesn't matter how big, the name they are, who they are, what position, how old they are. I don't know, what does that maybe say about him and his compete?
Yeah, I think it says a lot because without that, then it doesn't matter. It'll look as pretty as you want it. You do all this, but if you don't have that, you'll never be a player in this league.
What have been your impressions of Antoine Green? Had a little bit of a stop-start thing kind of early in the offseason.
Yeah, I would say, inconsistent. Man, he does some things, they really show, and then it just, it dips. And there again, he's a young player. Does some things that really catch your eye, and then some things the opposite way. So just he's inconsistent right now, and the more that he can, he lessens the inconsistency, the better off he's going to be, and that's part of what camp is for him.
Alex said he playing a little bit more of the will. He says he likes that spot, kind of plays more to his athleticism. What do you guys like about him in that spot? And then maybe just Jack and Derek, how they're handling kind of the Mike stuff in the green dot.
Alex can play all the positions, and it's one of the reasons why he's a huge asset for us. But I think he's really naturally more will. He's more of that position, and I think it fits his skill set. And he was another player yesterday I thought played fast. He played fast. He took it up a notch, and so I think he's right where he belongs right now. And what helps that is the fact that Barnes and Jack are coming on, so it's good. Barnes had a good day yesterday. He showed up.
Wondering what you think of your gunner competition. It doesn't seem like anybody's really grabbed the bull by the horns there yet.
Yeah, I would say we're still looking, and we need some growth there. Now we got a couple of ideas on, getting a look at some other guys as we move along here that we haven't put out there in a while. But certainly, look, we know Jerry can do it, and so that's somebody that can be there. We may put Will out there a little bit and see where he goes, but that's where we need growth from Starling. We need, Green to come on, just see some of these receivers out there a little bit. They got to be able to do that as well. That's what all this whole process is about. That who can do some of these things? Who do we think can continue to get better at them? And then who do we need another look at or a look at in those positions?
It's a different opponent than last year, but where do you view the intensity level, the talent level in these joint practices compared to Indy last year?
I think it's comparable. Just overall. That was a pretty good roster last year too. Now, and they had some injuries, and I know they had a down season, but they created some issues for us last year, and the competition was good, particularly the second day. So I would anticipate it's going to go up again today. It'll go another notch. Those guys will come out, and I think that's what this is about, man. It's a tug of war. You just keep competing and see who can get the best of who each day. So they got some good players over there, and they gave us some great looks, just like I feel like we gave them some great looks.
You've talked a lot about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, his versatility. We've seen a lot of him at safety. What do you like when he's back there in particular, Dan, at that safety spot?
Well, he's a highly instinctive player, and he's I think sometimes this may get lost with CJ. He's an excellent communicator as well, excellent communicator, and so you just kind of see the growth of he and Kirby together, and I believe it's elevating Kirby's game as well. And so you potentially have a couple of dynamic safeties back there that have versatility. So that's what we like about that, having him back there, and knowing he can play nickel certainly. Tracy's competing. He's very much in this thing as well.
I want to ask about Hutchinson. I mean, having a great camp as everyone would expect, I guess. But just where have you seen the most growth from him here in a year or two?
Yeah, I feel like he's got more in his toolbox, and he was already a confident player, but you can just see he is, he has a ton of confidence, and you see these tools coming out that have elevated his game. So he's got a counter move, he's got a spin, he's got a bull. He's violent, shedding the run game. He sets an edge. He's a big man. He's got a high motor. He's taking it up a notch. That's what you want to see.
With Levi returning and getting more looks out there on the field, have you seen his progression?
He's growing, and that's being able to just play football. This is the longest we've had him. I feel like consecutive practices. He's doing well health-wise, and now it's just about he just playing football, just getting used to it. I see growth. I think we all see it. So he's getting better, and he's in a good spot right now, and we just keep going.
We saw Barry Sanders out there yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, the team announced the building of the statue before the home opener. I guess when legends come out like that, just what does it do for the team, and how does it feel to see him get that honor?
Yeah, look, man, he's the GOAT, man, and he's unbelievable. And for somebody like me, I've said this before, but out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, dirt roads and cattle everywhere, and you're watching Barry Sanders run around. And to be able to, now you're standing with him and talking with him, and he's part of, certainly the most noticeable face for the Detroit Lions. It's awesome, and it's an honor, and I think that's great. What they're doing and the statue, but he is one of the most humble guys you could ever be around, and I think our guys notice that. They appreciate him, and it's great having him around.
Houston had such a fascinating rookie season coming on the way he did, and you were giving him some 30, 40 rep games at the end of the year, and it looked like maybe he could do more for you.
Who's that?
James Houston.
Yeah.
Seems like it's been a little bit of a reset this camp, trying to get a little bit more off ball, a lot of third-team defense, isn't standing out quite as much. What are your impressions of, I guess, what you're trying to do with James and where you see him fitting in this roster?
Yeah, I would say very much what we did with him last year, in base, playing some at the Sam. And, of course, he was doing a lot of that for us because Charles was out. And now Charles is back. And, Charles is playing at a high level, and mentally he's locked in. And so for Houston, it's really the mental, man. We talked about Green, but the inconsistency, we just he's got to get out of that, because he makes some plays, and then, it just kind of dips. There'll be an error here and there. So it's just something we got to keep working with him, and keep working on his rush, keep developing other moves. And look, he's working at it, and it's early, and he's another guy we expect him to continue to grow.
That's the other part of the equation, right? Like, how is he taking it, to have the success, I guess, he had in such limited snaps, and to almost feel like he's being dialed back, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's good. I don't feel like there's anything where he's, I think he's handling it well. I think he's coming. He's putting in the work. We've had discussions with him one-on-one about things. Man, here's where we can really improve. Here's what we feel like you can do. Here's what I want you to think about, and he's working on those. So I think he's handling it well, and I think he understands he's in a competition, no different than anybody else.
Last one, guys. Dan, do you consciously coach your team to have high energy, or do you just hope that the way you operate kind of bleeds into how they focus and play?
No, I think that's who they are. I'm who I am, and that's who they are. So I don't feel like I have to preach high energy. I'm more, I want us to focus on the details of what we do and the discipline as much as possible, and then let them go play. I feel like Brad's done that with who he's acquired and who we've acquired. You get the right guys, you don't have to preach energy. They come with their own. Okay. What's going on?